Samurai.
Welcome to the home of Williams' Old Yeller Dogs. I am the Shogun, Andre Williams. Like, follow, and subscribe.
What's up, world? It's your boy Dre at Samurai Kennels, and I'm here with Mrs. Faith Whited of Voodoo Hog Doggers. This is the first part of our mega series where we're bringing ladies of the dog game in here and getting their take on what it's like to be in the game and dealing with us knucklehead guys out there. Uh, Mrs. Whited is. I met her at the confirmation show in Houston, Texas, and I was really interested in what she had going on in her program. So I'm going to ask some really green novice questions because I'm green to it myself. But Ms. Whited, I want you to just introduce yourself, tell us about where you're from, how you got into the dogs, and then we'll kick this interview off.
Okay. I'm from Central Texas, close to Lake Whitney area. And the way that I got introduced into the dogs was I always loved working dogs. My dogs have always been super active with me. We'd go out trail hiking, all that kind of stuff. And owning powerful breed dogs, they need an outlet, and so I gave them that outlet. We went. I moved to Oklahoma, and I actually got introduced to some friends who also hunted dogs, but they're mostly guys. And they told me that, hey, you got some great dogs. They got great drive. They're telling me that I had a great thing going on and that I should work them, improve them. And so I got into that, and they just loved it. They absolutely loved it. And seeing my dogs happy made me happy, of course. So I was quick to stay in it. And then I moved back to Texas. And whenever I moved back to Texas, I met my fiance, Junior, and he's like, hey, let's get back into hunting the dogs. So we started going out in the woods and scouting different places to, hunt the dogs. And we started off by just walking them in, only letting certain dogs loose while we were mapping out the areas. And once we got comfortable with the area, we knew that there was hogs in the area, hog signs like ruts, tracks, all those kind of signs. We let the dogs loose, and we just got them used to tracking. And once they figured out, the gist of it, what we were looking for, and they got on their first pig, it was over after that. Like they knew what they were out in the woods for, and they never skipped a beat. So whenever I moved back to Texas and we started off again, I had only Tank, which is my foundation male for my bloodline, which they're crossbred, purpose-bred dogs. And had Voodoo, which was his granddaughter, and his daughter Malibu. And I had only bred her once with a purpose-bred dog as well, back in Oklahoma, and he was a coyote dog. So I just picked and choose different dogs from that I liked, to incorporate into my line, depending on their temperament and what they did. So when I had that final product, which pretty much my final product was Voodoo, Aspen, and Ragdoll. So those are my final product for the kind of dog I wanted. And then of course I got the American Pit Bull Terriers that I wanted to add for a very long time. I just wasn't in the position because I was helping my mom out. So I was living on her property, and she had other dogs and stuff like that. I wanted to be more private in order to own the breed. because you know how it can be, you know, owning those kind of dogs. You
Oh
know, a lot of
yeah,
people
oh
look
yeah.
badly at you and stuff. I was like, you know, I want to do it right. So that's how I got into it. And then as far as the training, that was pretty much it. It's just a lot of footwork. A lot of footwork, us and the dogs. We work just as hard as the dogs do. That's our biggest motto. You put in just as much work as your dogs do, and they'll definitely get the job done for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm gonna just roll this thing because, like I said, I'm green to this, and this is more so for the novice people. So I'm gonna break it down for them real slow, and I'm just ask you questions, and you just give us what you can. All right. I'm not trying to steal
Okay.
your mojo, but I definitely want to share your story. And
Okay.
so the
Awesome.
first thing I would say is let's start with a puppy. Like you're picking a puppy from any breed that you use. How do you pick that puppy? Or what traits do you look for in that puppy specifically?
Okay. So with my litters that I produce, um, first, of course, as anyone else would do when they're, you know, breeding dogs, is they look at the ones they think are the best looking. And, you know, they kind of keep your eye on those. But as they grow older, you can see more of their personality, and it's more of a feeling that you get, oh, and that dog's going to be a good dog. And then when they get a little bit bigger and you take them out in the woods, you see how they keep up with the older dogs, the bigger dogs, you know, even as a puppy, because we take them out about 9 weeks old. So in the woods, we take them out with the big dogs. They kind of stay close by, but they will range out sometimes with the bigger dogs. And the more they learn, the more confident they get. And we don't tend to take the whole litter out. We tend to just take out certain dogs at a time, maybe 2 puppies at a time. And whenever they go range out and stuff like that, if we get on a pig, and they're all about it, you know, and immediately, even at 9
Yes,
weeks
ma'am.
old. I mean, Ragnar, he is almost 2 years old, and he's been on hogs since he was 9 weeks old. So it was just a immediate, no hesitation. That's what we like. We like to see no hesitation. Just goes in and does what they're supposed to do. Just natural. We like to see that natural ability. But even with the dogs that take a little bit longer, you know, we ain't got a problem, you know, raising them up and, you know, building that confidence to get where they need to be. That's important, you know, because some dogs, they just take a little bit longer, you know, just turn on. Take a little bit
Oh
longer to
yeah,
turn
oh
on.
yeah, for sure. Hey, so you mentioned taking them out and letting them be with the other dogs. So when you pack hunt, do you use bay dogs and catch dogs or sight hounds? Like what's your pack look like?
The dogs that I use, that we use is, we have a Chiweenie, and he is really, really good at tracking, and he will bay up on a pig. But we don't need him. See, like, we like our dogs to also track, and we want them to track with the bay dog if we use them. Our whole point of using other dogs besides just our bull breed dogs, because obviously we don't need a bay dog or anything like that, but it's just to show people, hey, these other breeds can do this work. They can work, trying to keep the working dog alive. With our bull breeds, they track and they catch. So we don't want them to bark. We want them silent on the track, you know. And whenever they go out there and they get on a pig, like, the one thing that helps us find out where they are, we don't really use tracking devices. We've thought about using it, you know, but they're actually really well trained. So we hear the Chiweenie, he'll bark. He, you know, high pitched small dog barks. So we can hear him barking. We can hear the pig squealing because the dog's already got it caught. And we go out there and we get in there as fast as we can. We dispatch the hog, and, you know, we take our short little video just to, you know, have that there. So that's what we would do with the dogs. But we only run mostly our bulldogs.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Hey, so you mentioned your videos, and I follow you on Facebook. Can you please shout out your Facebook for anybody who wants to find you on Facebook so they can follow you and see the videos you're talking about?
okay, yeah. So It's Faith Whited, and I have a picture of one of my main catch dogs, female catch dogs, Voodoo, which is where I get the name Voodoo Hog Doggers from. She'll be the picture on there. It's purple. And I also have other pages that I can invite people to once they add me on there. I can put them in the right direction if they want to see the dogs work. I kind of usually try to keep the videos a little bit more privately. So my Facebook is private because there's some
ma'am.
people.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I already know. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Hey, but no. So that's a really good thing you said that, because honestly, with the hog dogging, I think that's one of the greatest ways to prove the working line, anyways. And with that being said, so we talked about picking the puppy and kind of schooling them a little bit, right? Now,
Yeah.
And you also said about the colors, and I think that's a good thing too, because if you like a dog, you typically tend to keep it longer. All right. But what are some of the dangers associated with hog dogging?
Yeah, my fiance's in here with me too. He can.
It's the dangers and the snakes.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So that's my fiance.
The dangers with hog dogging is you got snakes, you got your cottonmouths, your rattlesnakes, your copperheads, coral snakes, depends on which area you're in. The other issue is too is if you run up on a pig, they can break off and they can circle back. You can run into them and you get cut like that, or even hit. And also you get coyotes, mountain lions. It just depends on the area about it and what the area is used to.
Yeah.
More likely,
yes, sir.
The most dangerous thing is when you go up to a pig and try and get the back legs. The back legs, that's when you're most vulnerable, because the dogs see you and they're going to help you get that pig under control, but you're mainly there to help the dogs out more than anything.
And to dispatch the hog, right? So I agree with him on, the dangers that you can run into. We've had run up on a pack of coyotes by accident. My Chiweenie, he almost died. They were jumped by the pack. Luckily, it was only a young pack of coyotes, and they were injured pretty badly. Slim fought them off. And that's how he actually survived. If it was just him, I'm afraid they would have just carried him off. We didn't even find him until the next morning. So there's lots of dangers out there, and specifically when it pertains to hogs, it's just you just never know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, there's loners that that are out on their own. There's packs, sometimes young packs, and they won't stand their ground, so they'll run. It all depends. Unfortunately, we had the incident of recently, really, really, really big hogs, and a pack of them. So, and Slim is the one, since we do run our dogs freely, he ran up on them first, and the other dogs were ranged out in a different direction because they all fan out. So they were ranged out a couple 100 yards a different direction. And he ran up on those hogs by himself. And, he's only a 45-pound American Pit Bull Terrier. And the cut gear didn't even stand a chance. I mean, they tore him up so pretty bad. And we got there as quick as we could. Boogie was there with him, but, a Chiweenie is not going to do much. And all he could do was bark and try to get the other ones to back off. As soon as we got there, he had already done the damage, and Slim ended up passing shortly after. So it's always sad, but it's kind of part of it. We've lost dogs from snakes. I mean, that was the first time we've ever had real serious issues with hogs. But in numbers, they are a lot stronger, especially with size.
Also get too cocky.
Yeah. You can't ever get too cocky with your dogs.
That's also another dangerous game to play with, is when you go out, you get too cocky, and you swear up and down ain't no pig out there who can take on these dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you start losing dogs.
Yeah, you can't ever think that you're untouchable. Your dogs are untouchable because it will bite you in the butt. So
Hey, so I wanted to say thank you both, and I think it's really cool that y'all go out together because you don't see a lot of ladies in the game go out with their man. Typically, we go out, we get drunk, and do whatever it is we're going to do with the dogs. But that's really cool. I also want to
yeah,
say thank y'all for sharing that because I follow you on Facebook, so I knew about that already. But I wanted to
yeah,
share that because you got people who are taking their pet dogs out and they might not come back home. So I really needed y'all to
right.
share that.
Mhm. Yeah,
And then the snakes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and the other deal is too is this the whole hog dog game. Taking dogs out, you're gonna go run dogs. You're playing with fire. It's the name of the game. You're going out, you're playing with fire, and you don't know whether them dogs are gonna come back out of the woods alive or not.
or even you. I mean,
Or
even us, because we also have kids. We have 4 children that we take on hunts with us, and they were with us. I mean, I would have gotten there with Junior to Slim a lot faster. Not that it would have made any difference on saving him, because I mean he was so badly injured and torn apart. But and all his cut gear was torn off. So I mean they completely shredded his cut gear, everything. But you know, I had to stay with kids. You know, they know the drill. If there is ever a pack and we run up on a pack, and they have done drills in trees where they climb up trees, and it's a family thing. The kids love it. You know, they get excited. I can hardly hear the pigs screaming when they're screaming because they hear the dogs caught a hog.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a family thing. It's a family business. I want to make little dog men and dog women because I have 3 girls and 1 boy. So you know, it is dangerous. There is a lot of dangers in it, but it's one of those things where the dogs, it's what they love doing. Yeah, it is.
the dying breed. You have to play with fire to
Yeah.
understand fire.
Yeah.
Hey man, I loved it though. Like honestly, truly, it's honestly if you're not doing something that's other people think you're crazy for, you're probably not going hard enough at it. So salute to you both. Hey, so about the kids going out there, because I love that aspect of it. Y'all know I do the protection work. If you haven't seen it, I do a lot of protection work. But the other thing I would ever get into would be hog dogging. And you talked about dispatching them. So I've seen videos where you talk about treeing exercises where somebody's unloaded a 45 into them or even a 410 slug into them and it don't drop them. So
Yeah.
as far as schooling the kids, like how are the kids armed, or like you have crossbow? How do you get the kids armed up?
We all carry knives. The girls, my oldest daughter, she is just old enough to where she will start carrying her own knife. Our son, all of our kids are well versed on how to use a knife. They've all stuck their own pig. And they're great. I mean, pretty awesome at handling the situation, and they love it. They love seeing the dogs work. They have a little fun too, you know, and with the tree exercises, it's mostly to get them off the ground.
It's mainly the younger one first.
Yeah, so
the younger one,
Okay.
Then the oldest. And each knife that they have, because knife does play a matter in anything.
Yeah.
It's typically a 10-inch hunting knife. It's something with a sharp point because a 45, a 9mm, 22, 30-06, any big caliber pistol round or rifle round will not touch them pigs. If they absolutely,
especially if they're big enough. I mean,
they get their skin cut by the briars, the weather, the mud plays a big factor in all. It's like you're shooting a bulletproof metal with a gun with something running at you up to 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, and you got to think about you know, the reload and all that. I mean, you just don't got time to do that. I mean, I'm not saying that don't carry a weapon, a gun with you, a firearm. Go ahead. You know, it can come in handy in certain situations. But and whenever you're dealing with the dogs on the hogs too, you know, I've seen people accidentally shoot their dogs when trying to dispatch the hog. So we personally we use knives, and my oldest boy, he's 10, going on 11. He'll be 11 in July, and he carries his own knife. And like I said, my oldest daughter, she'll be carrying hers as well. So it's just one of those things you just got to teach them. You got to get them out there, get their. Then kids, they have all the energy in the world. So we go out there and they have no problem keeping up with us at all. My youngest is about to be 6, so all pretty young kids, but they love it, and they love working with the dogs.
That's amazing. Hey, so now that we got the kids, we got the puppies, let's talk about grabbing the back legs and actually using your knife to kind of get them. Are we going for our vitals? Like how are we dispatching them at that final point?
So the way that we do it is, he is usually the first one there, obviously, because I make sure the kids stay up. He's the first one there to help the dogs out. He'll grab the back legs and he will stick them right behind the shoulder, right in the rib cage, to try to get them in the heart, lungs. And that is the quickest way. There has been some really big ones that we've had to even cut the throat after that, just to get them to go down, because they just would not die. So, that's our main way to do it, is just right there behind the arm, in the rib area.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm getting more and more, like I'm excited, but at the same time I'm like do I got it in me? Am I man enough for this? Or and
you never know until you get out there. I mean, I tell you what, the adrenaline rush you get off of it, and just the excitement, and seeing your dogs too. I mean, just seeing your dogs work for you, and it's seeing them in their natural state is just a beautiful thing. It really is. That's what they're bred for, and they're fulfilling that that genetic need, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, if you love your dogs, you want to see them happy, and that's what they love doing. And if I was to take them out and make them house pets, they wouldn't be very happy. They'd be like, "What the heck?"
Yes, ma'am. Hey, so question, and this is a big one. A lot of the game dog guys have this problem. As far as numbers for like dogs that actually will work, or dogs that look like they'll work versus curs, what are the percentages like on most litters of dogs that are bred for hog dogging?
Oh, you want me to answer that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So well, I'll get both of our perspectives on it.
Well, if you breed like curs, I don't like curs. Curs are a dime a dozen, and you get a cur, you have a chance of getting bit. I've been bit on the back of the leg multiple times, been biting my own other dogs and stuff like that. Now, if you get a working dog that is proven,
I think you mean like cur, like a dog that doesn't have that dog in them.
They're my dog.
No, I'm not talking about not the breed. You're not talking about the breed. You're talking about like a dog that pulls out that doesn't do its job. Correct?
So two things. So I'm gonna get to the blackmouth curs, but right now I'm talking about dogs. Yeah. They're scared and won't hit them. But yeah, we'll talk about both. And y'all hit both of those subjects right now if y'all will, because I want to hear about both of those. Because a lot of times people cross the plot.
Well, I'll let him finish, and then I'll talk on the whole thing about what we do with the actual dogs that cur out.
But like the cur dogs, not the blackmouth curs, but the actual cur dogs that you can pick up anywhere. It's not good to get them. They're good for people starting out, because then they can pick and choose which dogs to use or whatever. Now, like dogs that are bred for hog dogs, they're good because they know what they need. They can figure it out with the pigs fast, like faster than anything else.
Like Ragnar at 9 weeks old.
Like Ragnar, our boy Hellhound, Mercy, our game dogs, like all our dogs, they never was hesitant. really, they
I told them
they
about
knew.
that in the beginning.
And
We want to see natural ability. We want to see no hesitation. We want it kind of comes down to the breeding too. It's, you know, you want a dog that is not nervy. You want a dog that's got it in them. I mean, if you see a dog that has no hesitation and it just goes in there and some people say they don't have no self-preservation. In other words, they don't care if they live or die. They're doing what they feel genetically they have to do. Like, they just go in there and do the job. I mean, it's just all their genetics go in overdrive. But
right.
As far as if we get, we have had cur dogs, not in our breeding program yet. Of course, I have placed some of my pups and litters into non-working homes, so they haven't been tested. And I haven't produced very many litters just for the fact that, you know, I was so set on my goal on being so particular on what I bred and how I bred.
I need another one. I'ma roll it up and I light it up. I need another one. So put some more in my cup. I just need another one. I'ma roll it up and I light it up. I need another one. So put some more in my cup. I just need another one. 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 I just need another one.